Monster Hunter Wilds Title Update 1 has finally dropped and has brought to the game what it was really lacking, and that is charm. Monster Hunter, the franchise, is all about charm, and it's finally in Wilds. Welcome back, Classy Crew, to my review of Title Update 1 for Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm sorry that I've been so late. I got really caught up with life. Wasn't able to record this as early as I wanted to, but I've finally gone through all of the content introduced in Title Update 1, and I really enjoyed it. This was what I felt was, well, in part what was missing in Monster Hunter Wilds, which was just fun, wacky, charming little things like barrel bowling, arm wrestling, all of Mizutsune, high ranks, like all of these things, more challenge, more fun, but especially more charm. And even with everything they've added, I feel it's still not enough. I really want to see even more. Something that has stood with me, especially as I've gone back into the old world Monster Hunter games, is that these games have been oozing with charm. Yes, it's a serious world where you are this lone hunter trying to save a village from certain death and terrible atrocities committed by monsters, but it's never really that serious. Like, yes, you are a big burly hunter hunting big burly things, but all along the way there's always some goofy, wacky things. Even in the very first Monster Hunter game, you've got an old cosmic grandpa, which is basically making fun of you because you're not quite strong enough. And I think it's even more important now, and I don't want to go on a far rant about this, but one of my biggest problems with modern gaming is that games try to be so freaking serious, and it really does piss me off because, like, the world can be a pretty dark and scary place. And these days, with all of this like news that hits us every day about what's going on in the world, about like this terrible thing in this part of the world and this terrible thing, video games should be an escape. And like, if you want scary things, there's always horror games to go play. But all of these other games that have had so much like fun elements about it are all deviating towards more cutscenes, more voice acting, and all in the spirit of more realistic graphics, more seriousness. And I'm just a little concerned Monster Hunter is dabbling in that direction too, with especially World. I can't really critique in a fair way against the rest of the franchise because it was my entry point, but World and Wilds are like this where, you know, they are going more of that realistic route. In fact, I actually appreciate Sunbreak more than ever now that Wilds is out. And I know that's ironic, and I know that's what I think always happens. New Monster Hunter game drops, everybody critiques it, everybody hates on it. The next one comes out, everybody loves the last one. It's a stupid trend, I guess. But yeah, I look at Sunbreak and it's so cartoony and it's so simplistic and it's fun. That's what it focuses on. And I don't think I appreciated that as much when that game came out because I'd come off of World and I was like, I want more of World. I would have wanted what Wilds was offering me. And then I got Rise Sunbreak. I was like, what the heck is this? This is so different. And then I went to the old world. I was like, oh, this is what Monster Hunter built on. And now I get Wilds and I'm like, wait, why are we going serious again? And so like, we've kind of got these two paths where you got like serious Monster Hunter and you've got comically fun Monster Hunter. And I'm okay if they pick two paths. I'm all for like an epic journey that's still zany, quirky, and fun, and then just the simplicity of Monster Hunter. I understand in the old days, there was basically the mainline Monster Hunters, and then there was the spin-offs or the portable Monster Hunters. And now that everything has kind of become all like you can play your games wherever you want, there's not really a need for that for a mainline and a portable team. I don't know if those teams are still separate or if they're still going to be like building two types of Monster Hunter games. But I'm all for, like, I think there is a space where both can exist. In fact, right now, like that other Monster Hunter game that is being developed by Tencent Teamy's team, that looks bright, fun, and silly. And I mean, we've seen very little of it, but if that's what that game is going to give me, I think that's something I'm going to want. Anyways, I am definitely going off track here. All I'm saying, Title Update 1 is injecting more of that Monster Hunter magic into Monster Hunter Wilds, and I really hope that they keep doing that. Because when I started Title Update 1 on stream, I didn't even go into a hunt until 1 hour because I was so busy. Well, honestly, I was busy bowling for the longest time. So little side story about Hey Jay here, your J.O. Hey boy. I used to bowl as a kid. I wasn't the most athletic kid. In fact, I didn't like team sports. I didn't like anything with athleticism in it. And so somehow I settled with my parents of, you know what, I can bowl. Let's bowl. And so I became a bowler for 8 years where I tossed these balls down the lane and hit all the pins. And that was like, my parents had pretty much given up on me at that point. They're like, fine, this kid's gonna bowl. Like, we have to get him in some activity. You can't just be playing video games all the time. Go throw your stupid ball. We'll support you and we won't bug you for anything else. So this barrel bowling really brought me back to my childhood days. I'm like, I can bowl. And so I was having fun just figuring out, oh, what if I throw it this way? What if I throw it this way? Because there's like 3 lanes to try to hit some top scores. And I kept getting B, and I was getting like between 350, 400. I was like, surely if I hit 400, I'm going to rank up to like A. Nope, made it past 400, still not. I bowled so good, I made it to 450. That was my top score. I was like, finally, this has got to be good enough for an A. Still a B, just as good as all my weapon ranking in Monster Hunter GU. So I'm like, well, that's enough for today. I think I spent 20, 30 minutes bowling and I just couldn't get my A. So if you've gotten an A, please let me know. What's the tips? I will critique it with one thing though. A game as silly as barrel bowling is lacking comical music. Play any other Monster Hunter game with some kind of silly activity. Even Monster Hunter World Iceborne with the stupid Steam, the Steamworks. It's silly. Like, you got people shoving a bunch of stuff inside the Steamworks and you got some silly music and everyone's going like, what's going on? And then someone's going like, where's my silly music? I'm tossing barrels down these hills. Like, I should have more silly music. Like, it's slightly more silly, but not silly enough. After the bowling, I had a bunch of people from my community that came online and they wanted to show me around the hub. They're like, we must bring you to His Holiness. I was like, what is His Holiness? Is this going to be another one of like His Immenseness? And they took me like all the way like around the path, up like in the most random place behind a waterfall where we found His Holiness, which is a really big bird. And again, this is what I love about Monster Hunter. Like, why is there a big bird behind the waterfall? Who cares? It doesn't matter. For those who went off exploring, they got rewarded with a really fat bird, and that's funny, and I love it. And those who know, and those who don't know, well, now you know that there's a big bird behind the waterfall. Go say hi, take a picture with it, and give it a kiss. And then, of course, there was the performance that I want to see. So we all sat around the tables, we grabbed our beer or grog, whatever it is that we drink. And we got this amazingly beautiful performance, which made me feel things. And again, I loved everything that the hub had to offer. Of course, I have my criticism, but it was just so beautiful. And in fact, at one point, I was humming along the song, even though it was the first time I heard the song. And I was like, what is this from? And I don't know if it's from another part of like the game, but there's a part in the chorus where, she's singing in her language that goes like, dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Kind of goes like that. And it only clicked after a few times. I'm like, wait a minute, this sounds like Skyrim. Why is the Skyrim melody in this song? So maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it. Let me know if you hear the Skyrim melody in the song or if I'm just crazy. One thing I feel is a missed opportunity, but it's not too late. So I hope Capcom watches this and was like, oh, that's a great idea. While that is a beautiful performance, I think it's the only performance currently. And I really, really hope that they're going to be adding rotating performances on the stage because there is so much potential with what they've created here in the hub. And if they do that, I want to hear some pop performances. Like, they have the power to create as much of a fandom for Monster Hunter like music as Splatoon. So how Splatoon, there was like the singers and there was like all this like very Splatoony music, and now they have concerts. We could have Monster Hunter concerts, not just orchestras, but concerts. And there's a precedent here. Monster Hunter GU, the ending credits, the song Let's Dance is a pop song in Monster Hunter like folklore in the universe. That should be on the stage here, and they should bring not just beautiful songs but happy poppy songs, and like let us as a community just have fun with it. So yes, please, more songs on that stage. I love what you did there. Please do more of that. And then me and the community pretty much went off arm wrestling. I had a great start to the night. I was winning against everyone except my mod ads, who I'm pretty sure was hacking with some kind of turbo button or turbo controller on his side of the connection because I just couldn't defeat him. So that was pretty much my experience with the hub. Love it, want more of it. Literally saw an hour go by without even realizing it. And then we're like, oh yeah, we got to try the other content. And so like I went into the arenas. Of course I didn't do great, but I love the arenas more now. As someone who has dabbled in all the weapons in GU, I just appreciate it more. Before my Omni Hunter pledge in GU, I was not very interested in arena because I'm like, why do I want to fight a monster with all these weapons and armor I don't understand? Now as an Omni Hunter, I'm like, okay, I can kind of get around. Like I'm better with some weapons than others, but yeah, sure, let's do it. Let's see how good I can do against this monster with this build. So I appreciate arena more. I'm not a fan of the whole reward system that they originally came out with. I think they tweaked it where basically like you have to be in the top 1,000 or something and get like a special pendant, and now they've changed it where you just got to be good enough because people were cheating, and like who didn't see that one coming? So I don't have much to say more about the arena challenge other than welcome back. Surprised you weren't at launch, but hey, I'll take it. Then in my hunts, I took on Mizutsune, which looks beautiful. Love how they introduced Mizutsune, and again, it had that charm. Like first you've got the Doshiguma or whatever its name is, and you just got Mizu that just like pokes its head behind it, just like, like what are we doing here? And there's like bubbles. That's just such a great way how to introduce Mizu. And the fight was great. Like I can't really comment too much about, oh, it's different, I really loved how it did this or that. It was a beautiful fight. It's a beautiful monster rendered in this graphic style. It just looked great. And the fight did incorporate some elements of Soul Seer Mizutsune from GU, which I can't quite appreciate like the biggest difference between Soul Seer and Mizutsune, but I can appreciate blue flaming eyes looks hot on Mizutsune. And that's all that really stood out to me. When it had the blue things, like the blue glow and aura, it just looked super cool. So all I could say is Mizutsune is just a really beautiful monster. Unfortunately, I feel its male armor just doesn't look that great. The weapons have a lot of personality to them. It looks great on their own. I've never found a way to really incorporate it into my set, but I saw some people in my community who were wearing like Mizu parts in a really nice build, and it looked great on their armor set. They were also female characters, so the parts just looked a lot better. Then I went after Tempered Archvelt for the first time. So I had to pretty much bring my hunter rank from 44 to 50 so I could take on the higher rank Zoshia. And I stumbled onto a Tempered Archvelt and I was like, oh, this is like endgame challenge. I should attempt this. And it was a close fight. Spoilers, I lost, and I was really disappointed because this thing took me 23 minutes just to fail. And I failed because I tried to do parry, which is something I don't really like about the Switch X. In the modern age of Monster Hunter, I don't think Switch X should have parries necessarily. And that's just because I suck at them. I don't think Switch X should be stand your ground. I think Switch X should be about fluid movement and dancing around the monster. And so anyways, it's there as a mechanic, so I figure I should try to incorporate it and just learn. You know, I could yell at Cloud, old man yells at Cloud, or I could try to embrace the new ways, which is what I did. And so I parried this attack, but it left me open because there's such a delay after you parry that I got slammed on my back. I got like shocked or something. I couldn't get up and I died. And it was just the most terrible way to go. So yeah, 3 cards again, Tempered Archvelt. This was a 3 star, so it's not even the hardest Archvelt in the game. And I couldn't do it. I just, you know, now I'm bitter. However, I did make it to Hunter rank 50. I unlocked Zoshia, and I did pull out my Rathian Switch Axe, which was the best weapon I could craft at that time. I'm like, I really don't like, okay, it was getting late into the stream. I think it was almost midnight. And I was like, I want to take this on. It's the last piece I need to really like see all of what Title Update 1 has to offer. I didn't have time to grind new armor or anything, but I'm like, I should at least get a decent weapon to go up against something as hard as a high rank Zoshia. And so I went, and man, this fight went well at first until the carts started coming. And the carts started coming pretty much when it was in skull mode. Like I got my carts late into the fight. I think this went, oh, I didn't mark it. I think it went up to 30 minutes in suboptimal armor. And the last 2 carts were so freaking intense. Like my chat was like, my butt cheeks are clenched. I'm like, my butt cheeks are clenched. Everybody's butt cheeks were clenched. And it was just like my personal stamina was going down. I was not off, and I was getting less and less aggressive because I was like, I can too easily make a mistake. So I was trying to focus more on shooting the rocks and attacking it from afar. And it was just so intense, hitting me so hard. And I finally did it. We all celebrated. I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, by the way, I did this in like whatever armor I had. People were like, that's crazy. So I threw it down as a Hey Jay challenge, thinking I was like this special hunter. And I was like, let's see how you guys do it. And a bunch of people in my community are like, you're on, let's do it. And they like suited up with the same defense, the same kind of armor I had, which maybe the editor can put up. And now that I've said it, he should put it up. And my community didn't have the time. So they've shown me I'm not special at all. I just make life harder for me, and I'm not that good of a hunter. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with accepting that. But I think the best time in the Hey J community was like somewhere between 12 and 14 minutes using my suboptimal set. And I was like, damn, and it took me 30 minutes. Now keep in mind, they didn't get it on the first try. They were competing against each other in the community to lower the time. And that's what it came down to. I will also point out that those times were gained by using the switch axe move, which I think is absolute puke and I don't like using it, which is the forward slash that every meta player uses to basically cut their time down. Like it's that new move they introduced in Wilds where you hold your switch axe and you just unleash a bunch of damage. I don't use it, not out of principle, just I'm not used to that move. It doesn't feel like what I like about the switch axe. And so this is where I'm like, I'll use it because it's there, but I'm not going to spam the same move over and over. That's just not satisfying to me. If you do that, that's fine. You can play the game however you want. No judgment from me, but it's just going to create a huge difference of experience between what I'm experiencing and what you're experiencing. So that's it for title update 1. The next one is the Ray Dow. I think it's a tempered Ray Dow or something, a styled up Ray Dow, which is coming down the pipe. And then it's going to be a few months for title update 2. So I'm going to be pretty much off of Wilds for a bit. I have a lot of stuff to do in GU. I still have to finish my pledge there. I still have to finish my Sunbreak complete all quests pledge. So I'm going to be knocking down my pledges, and then we'll come back to Wilds when there's new content. And I will see you on that journal whenever that drops, or if you follow me in my other journals, I will see you there, or maybe on stream. So until next time, keep it classy.